politics.
The last couple of weeks, if not the last couple of months, if not the last 2 years with COVID, the country's just not been feeling lekker, South Africa in particular. We're not happy with the rampant corruption. Obviously, there were stories of Zuma and the Guptas. After that, there was the 500 billion rand COVID relief. Then there was issues with the health department. Then there were stories about the World Health Organization wanting to infiltrate our sovereignty. Our president being caught with foreign currency at his farm. We had tavern killings, which people don't understand now. Why are there mass shootings? That is America. Mass shootings in taverns, especially where there are young children. Ubheki Cele is shouting at people. A lot of people seem to be quite upset with the African National Congress, in particular, the ANC, the governing party. We've had Herman Mashaba here with Action SA. We've obviously had Abo Ernst, who are not a political party, but AfriForum, and we have extended an invite, and we're looking forward to members of the EFF, members of the ANC. I know I've personally extended invites to some of them. I've extended an invite. I hope we'll get him on, Gayton McKenzie. We're open to learning from them and to having conversations because people are not happy. And a lot of people are waiting for 2024. We understand that Twitter is not South Africa. So the 14 or 19 million people that are on Twitter won't necessarily impact what happens at the ballots. But something has to change. In Sri Lanka, the country went bankrupt. In Sri Lanka. By bankrupt, it's a company that's run out of money and no one is willing to loan you money. South Africa currently is running afloat because we can still siyoboleka. Masizo IMF, World Bank, which we get angry about. Siboleka imali ngoba sinayo. Ama grants, half of the country, almost 30 million people are on grants. Whether it's the 350 relief, which is 10 million people, or it's the child grant, old age, disability, which is another, I think 18 million people or so. We're in trouble. Our economy is bad. People don't have jobs. We've only got 5 to 10 million people that have jobs at any given time. The bulk of those people don't pay tax. Only 3 million people in a country of 60 million people are actually paying tax. So the country is running on fumes. And on top of that, the ANC is trying to privatize the Eskom, which is meant to be our right to electricity. We've got issues with water in some of the major metros. Crime seems to be going up, and they don't seem to have a handle on that. So
petrol is going up.
Petrol has gone up. Food has gone up. And what's funny is the South African Reserve Bank published that inflation is at 6.5%.
Sure.
But if you look at the increase of prices of food, it's 10%. But if you're saying 6.5, why are we seeing, which means someone out there is pricing more than what's meant to be happening. People are angry. And we don't know come 2024 if the ANC will eventually lose a bit of power. I don't know if Abo Cyril and the guys are actually doing it intentionally. Because sometimes the way they don't address us, it's like there's an intention. Apartheid government, before they handed over power, one of their conditions was that they're going to stay in parliament with Mandela while they do a handover. Number two, a lot of them made sure that they held on to the economy. So that even when the ANC fully took over, they still held the crown jewels and the core of how this country functions. So I don't know if some of the new black elite sat with the old Afrikaner white elite and said, listen, we're going to let you guys come in, we'll bring you to the table, and then once you guys are in, we'll give you a share of the economy. Then you can hand over this broken country to the next idiots, and then you'll control the economy with us. So Mhlambo Ramaphosa are saying, let's privatize Eskom to our friends, black and white rich friends, to our family members or Patrice. Let's privatize or SAA, let's privatize so that if the EFF and Action SA, a DA take over, they'll have nothing. We'll own everything. Ramaphosa will own Eskom, Patrice will own SAPC, Ubanban will own.
Oh, do you think that just might be intentional?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just know that the apartheid government, when they handed over this political power, they kept the economic power. And that's why Abantu Abamnyama feel like they still can't move. So I don't know if the ANC government, who sat with Labo Ngamla, because they sat and they became friends, board of their companies, maybe they were like, guys, this is how it kind of works. So when you guys are ready, because you can see the country's running on autopilot, it's bad, there's no money. Before the ship sinks and it fails, burn and break it and then jump ship. And then when they vote in the new political dispensation, be like, aye, we weren't there. Yabo Manjo Ramaphosa, when they come into power, they're like, Zuma's 9 wasted years. Or Zuma, when they came in, they were like, Paro Thabo Mbeki, angit babe sebenza nabelungu. Or Thabo Mbeki, but phela uMandela saying, but everyone is constantly passing the buck to someone else. So come 2024, I don't know if South Africa will get a coalition government. What I do know is that I'm going to put in as much effort as I can into, number one, trying to politically educate as many people as possible to understand what voting means. I think that's fundamentally important. Number two, understanding where our tax money comes from and where it goes and what's actually meant to happen with that. Number three, I know MacGyver, when we were at ENCA with JJ Tabane, was saying he doesn't care about voting, and a lot of young people don't care. We need to pump as many people to vote as possible to understand the importance of voting. Not just on the ballot, because that's one way. The other one is voting with your money. We need to start conscientizing people who say, "Mang more fire instead of a Red Bull." What does it mean for me as a South African? What does it mean for my grandmother and my grandfather if I'm more fire over a Red Bull? If I buy Ipatu over a Nike, what does it mean to this country? If I buy from Les Paza shop versus this Paza shop, what does it mean? People need to get conscientized and become active citizens. This is the solutions that I think we're meant to be speaking about. How do we drive those solutions into building a better country? Because the leaders seem to not care. And I'm going to say it openly. They seem to just not care at all. They're comfortable. And I've said before, black political leaders in this country, doesn't matter which ones you follow, maybe outside of a few, Abo Zuma and them. I think Zuma lives in a IFP municipality in Nkandla. Most of them live in DA-run neighborhoods. They live in white neighborhoods. They send their kids to white private schools or top white public schools. They have medical aid, which is only 10% of blacks have medical aid. They have medical, even Otisha Nabo Nest, they have all GEMS, Abazi GEMS, this government medical aid scheme. So who nurse at a public hospital, but my sick children and I, when I'm sick, don't come here. We go to private healthcare with Abelungu. I work here, I teach at this public school where some of the teachers come drunk, hung over, they don't show up, maybe they're sleeping with some of the kids. But as zifunda kuma model C. There's something really broken there.